Now welcome to the 3D editing masterclass. In this video we'll go over step by step how to make this viral animation which Iman used, and by the end of this video you'll know exactly how to make 3D animations just like Iman. This training has 3 parts which include where to get 3D assets, how to animate them, and what effects to use to get the professional Iman Gadzhi look. Now let's just get straight to the first part. Hope you enjoy. So the first step to making 3D animations is actually finding the 3D assets. And if we look at Iman's video here, he has this pretty beautiful 3D assets. You can see when you play it, they're obviously 3-dimensional so they can move around and look awesome like this. And my favorite place for 3D assets is called sketchfab.com. So a website that looks like this. And here you can simply just search different 3D models. These are all free, or you can at least filter by free. Maybe there's some paid ones on here, but I find all my free 3D assets from here. And what I'm gonna kind of do here is I'm just gonna type something like money stack, maybe something like this. And now you can see all these high quality, beautiful 3D assets, which is exactly what we want. And now what I'll do is I'll just kind of scroll around here till I find something that looks similar to what Iman has. And yeah, then I'll go with that. Alright, so here I found this pretty good looking money stack. I think it even may be the exact one he used. And now once you find your asset, you can come over here, click the download 3D model, and now there are a bunch of formats which you can download, and the one you need to download is this GLB one, so this one. And here there are 2 different GLBs, and I usually go with the one that's a larger file, because that's most likely going to be higher quality. So here I would go ahead and click download. I already downloaded this, but just download it, save it to your PC, and then we'll import it to After Effects later. And now I would do the exact same thing for the stopwatch. I would just type in stopwatch here, and you can see all these different ones. This one looks pretty good, so I'll probably download this. And yeah, I'll also link this in the description so you can get the exact same ones that I use. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Sketchfab. Now there's one more place you need to know when you want to make high quality 3D stuff, and that website is called polyhaven.com. So this one. And what you can find here are these HDRI files, and you can basically attach these to a light in After Effects, and you can make 3D objects look so much better, so much more realistic with realistic lighting. But yeah, I'm gonna go with this Rogaland Clear Night, which I found. I think it's gonna fit the scene pretty well, and I'm also gonna leave this in the assets folder, which I'll provide in the description, so you can get this exact same one here. Just click download, make sure you download this HDR file, and we can use this later on in After Effects. It'll be really important. Now that's it for finding 3D assets. Next up we'll go into After Effects and actually start animating these. So I'll see you over there. Alright, now we're inside After Effects, and this is the animation we're going to be recreating. So basically we have the background, we have the money assets, we have the text going around, and yeah, you can just make a new comp. I made it basic settings 1920 by 1080, 30 frames, and all that good stuff. Doesn't really matter. And we're going to start off with the background, so go ahead and make a new solid. So right click here and make a new solid, and just make a black solid. Perfect. And for this one, I'm going to go ahead and add a grid effect. So you can search them in the effects and presets panel, or you can use this plugin. And yeah, now it makes this little grid thingy. Now you can go to the effect controls panel, and I'm going to make the border 3, so make it a little thinner. And then you can drag this little point in the center to change the square size. So I'm going to make something like this. It's pretty good. And I'll decrease the opacity just a bit and make the blending mode normal. And also change the color to a dark gray. So something like this. Now I'm going to make a new solid, and this one is going to make the kind of gradient dark look to it. So add a gradient ramp, and the first color can be black, but the second color I'm going to make a dark gray. So something like this. And I'll up the blend with original, so maybe like 30. And then I can press T on my keyboard and it brings up the opacity, so I just lower that down. And now we get this nice effect. Awesome. Now one more thing I'll do is I'll add a vignette to this. So CC vignette, and I'll up the amount a bit. And I'll also make the center, so I can click this and make the center like down here. And up the settings a bit more till you get something pretty nice. Alright, so this is what we got. Now I'm gonna go ahead and actually import the money asset. So the money.glb, go ahead and grab it and drag it over to the comp. And here you have it. Now for me, the best way to move 3D objects is just to use these thingies in the screen. So here you can change the Y, X, Y, Z, all these things. And just rotate it a bit more. And you can press S to scale it down. till you get something that looks like this. And yeah, just kind of move it around till you get something like this. This is what we want. Perfect. Maybe make it a bit smaller. So S on your keyboard for scale. Awesome. Now let's animate this one. So the way we're gonna animate it is, you can look at this preview time thingy here. It's at 0. So we can go 2 seconds forward. So over here, around 2 seconds. So go here to 2 seconds and press P on your keyboard for position. Make a keyframe by this stopwatch thingy. And then press R for orientation and make a keyframe for that. And then you can press U on your keyboard to see both of the keyframes, and you can go to the start. Now the way we're gonna animate it is we're just gonna push the Z position back. So the last of these numbers, just push it back, kind of like this, maybe like 1500. That's pretty good. So yeah, around 1500 for the Z position. And yeah, you can take this middle one and make it like, just decrease it a bit till it looks like this. And also you can do the last one to get it kind of looking like this. And now when we play it back, it doesn't really look good. And that's because it's so linear. So go ahead and select the keyframes, press F9 and go to the graph editor and select everything and make a graph like this. So just something like this. And that looks pretty awesome. Yeah, so I went ahead and made an even sharper graph. So I pulled these even more to make it look like this, which is pretty amazing. Maybe I'll make the rotation a bit more like this. And yeah, awesome. Now we can make the text that pops up. So go to the rounded rectangle tool. So over here, hold this and click this. Then just draw a shape like this. I'm gonna make the fill white and the stroke can be off. So just hold Alt and click it off. Perfect. Now we can align it here on the align panel and get it perfectly in the center. Nice. Now you can just kind of scale it down to make it look good. Something like this. And then you can make another shape inside it. So just press Q for the tool and make a shape like this. And this one can be black. So change it to black. And it can be a bit smaller and increase the roundness on this one quite a bit. Yeah, we can make it look something like this. And then I'm gonna add the $sign. So you can press Command T for the type tool and just make that's a pound, that's a dollar. Great. Alright, and we'll make it white. And I guess we'll go with the Montserrat font since that's what Iman uses. Let's go with a bold and we can place it in the center, increase the size a bit. Yeah, now we have something like this. I'll increase the roundness on this one to make it even more round, so like 60. And then let's make the text. So make you more money. We'll make it black. And this is also Montserrat extra bold. Place it somewhere like this. And actually the first two are light. Or maybe a regular. Yeah, maybe a regular. That's pretty good. And I can place this. Alright, now place it in the center and kind of resize it. And we'll even make this a bit smaller. So yeah, now we have something like this. Now we can animate it. So when the money arrives, you can select this base layer and you can go over here to the shape properties. You have to go here. You can't make a scale keyframe here because it's going to mess up the rounded corners. So go to the size, make a keyframe here, make sure this is unlinked, go a few frames back and just make the first one 0. Just type that in. There we go. Perfect. Now you can easily use this, make some type of graph like this. There we go. So you can easily use this and make a full left graph. So a graph like this. This will work. And make it really quick. Perfect. Make it start a bit later. There we go. You can animate this icon thingy. So you can parent the dollar to the black shape. So just click this big whip icon and parent it right there. Then you can move this shape layer and the dollar will follow. So we can make a keyframe right when it's finished. Make a position keyframe and also make a opacity keyframe. So T on your keyboard, press U to see them all. Go like right here and yeah, just make the position to the center and make the opacity 0. Perfect. Now you can easily use this and make a left graph as well. So something like this. Make it a bit longer. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to make the opacity frame shorter. So drag it like that. Perfect, and the opacity actually didn't go to the dollar, so I'm gonna copy these keyframes and paste it to the dollar sign. Perfect, that looks good. Now we're also gonna animate the text, and the way it is done is you can copy this shape layer, so the main box, and just copy it, or duplicate it rather, and you can track map the text to it. So kind of like this. Then make a position keyframe for the text, and yeah, go a bit forward from the animation finishing keyframe and go right here and just bring it down. Press F9 and make a left graph. Perfect, now we're gonna adjust it a bit, make it start a bit sooner. Okay, that's amazing. That's great. Now I'm gonna pre-compose this also. Command-Shift-C and just pre-compose it, and yeah, and I'll kind of scale it up and align it in the middle of the money. Perfect. Now what I'll do is I'll parent this pre-composition to the money and press the U on your keyboard to see the keyframes and go where the last keyframes are to make an X rotation keyframe to make this a bit easier. And then go a few frames forward and just push the money to the left. Oh, not that fast. Yeah, push the money to the left, something like this, and just make the X rotation spin like this. That's pretty good. Awesome. Easy as all of these, and make a graph like this. Perfect, that looks awesome. So yeah, now I'll import the stopwatch, so drag it over, make comp size, and click OK. Awesome, now we're also gonna rotate this to make it look good, kind of like this. And yeah, you're gonna just make it look something like this. Perfect. So yeah, for this one, we're also gonna make a position keyframe and also the X rotation keyframe. So this one, and just go to the start. You can press U to see them and push it off the screen and make it, oh sorry, it's not the X. It's not the X rotation, it's the Y rotation. So make a Y keyframe, push it there, and just make it kind of spin a few laps. Now you can easy ease this. Make a graph like this. And now it's way too fast, so extend it a bit. Make it start a bit sooner. Just kind of play around with this, and that's looking pretty good. Yeah, I like that. I'll make it end up a bit more rotated, so kind of like this. So yeah, now you can go to this pre-composition, just kind of copy everything and paste it over here. Make a new pre-composition, because you can't use the same pre-comp. And yeah, just kind of drag it to this watch. Then obviously just go to the pre-comp and change all the thing that needs to be changed. So the text and the icon. I'll make this extra bold, and I'll delete the dollar completely. Press G for the pen tool and draw a nice little thingy like this, kind of like a clock. So yeah, perfect. And then press Q a few times. Get the ellipse tool, and you can draw a nice little ellipse. Make it a bit bigger. Just move everything around till it looks good, and make the stroke a bit smaller on the thing. And just make it 1. Scale them down a bit more, and try to get them to the center. That's good enough for me. I'll change this to 1 as well. Now I can parent both of these to the shape layer, the black one. So I believe it's this. Yes, perfect. Yeah, that looks good. Now I'm just gonna parent the shape layer to the stopwatch, make it move with it. Move it a bit like this. Yeah, that's perfect. Now we can make the box which these two assets go into. Select the rounded rectangle tool here and just make a rounded rectangle like this. I'll make the stroke like 3, make the stroke like 4, and I'll make the roundness like 60. Yeah, that's nice. I'll make it look a bit more like a rectangle, so kind of like this. Yes, perfect. And now go to the shape layer, press add, and add a trim paths, and open the trim paths, and take this end thingy and make a keyframe, and push the keyframe a bit forward, and just make this 0. Now we can easy ease this, and Iman had it start from the left side, so if we want to do that, we can increase the offset to 230 and make it start exactly like he had. Great, now I'll make a quick graph like this. Doesn't have to be exact, something like this. And that looks pretty good. Maybe I'll make a bit stronger of a graph. Awesome. Then I'll duplicate this layer. So duplicate it, Command D. I'll take the stroke off, and I'll just make the fill black. And I'll add a gradient ramp to it. Yeah, you can see these dots right here. I'll kind of flip them around, get something like this, and just kind of play around with the colors. Second color a bit further away to get something like this. Yeah, this is pretty good. Now I can parent the bottom one to the lower one so we can move them around all we like. And yeah, take the trim paths off from the top one. So kind of delete the keyframes. And the way this is animated is through a simple opacity frame, so we can make it 0. And we can place the opacity keyframe kind of halfway through the trim paths and just make the opacity 100. You can easy ease this as well. I'll place this under the stroke. Perfect. I'll actually make the stroke a bit bigger, so maybe like 7. Yeah, I think that's good. I won't actually make it full opacity, I'll make it 91. I like it. Yeah, now we can place these layers under everything, so we get something like this. Now when the trim paths start moving, I'm actually gonna cut all of these so that they're not parented anymore. I'll unparent this and I'll make a keyframe for position for both of the pre-comps, and I'll move this first one down a bit and the second one up a bit. You can easy ease this, get a bit longer, and then we'll make another set of keyframes here, and we'll push this first one to the left, so the center, and the other one to the right, kind of like this. Also make a scale keyframe for this one to kind of get them to match in size, so kind of like this. And I'll make a graph for everything, and the graph will look like this. Perfect. A bit longer, push everything kind of back. Might actually delete these keyframes, just make it a bit smoother. Yeah, I like that. Now we have to go to the pre-comp and actually extend this. So we're gonna go to composition settings and make the duration like 10 so it fits, and then push everything to the end, and do the same thing for this other one. Composition settings, make the duration and push everything to the end. And now we can move these like this so they actually fit the whole animation, and this one as well. Now we can make the money rotate to the bottom. So yeah, make a keyframe for the money, for position, and X rotation, Y rotation, maybe Z rotation as well. Then press U to see them all. Go forward like second or two, and you can make the X rotation spin a bit. So kind of decrease it, and I'll just use these sliders to get it to fit nicely in the image. So kind of something like this. That's pretty good. Now I'll F9 this, and I'll make a graph like kind of like this again. That looks really good. Then let's do the same thing for the stopwatch. And this one is more simple. You can just press P and make a position keyframe, and press R and make a orientation, or just make the Y keyframe. So kind of like this. Then go forward as well and push it to the center and just make it rotate maybe like 1 lap. You can F9 this and make a graph like this. Awesome. Yeah, that looks really good. That looks amazing. Now next I'll go to the pre-comp again. I'll copy everything and I'll go back to the main comp, copy paste this, pre-comp it again, and kind of go over here and make the animation start right there, place it to the top, and yeah, go to the pre-comp and make it say, make your work flow seamless, and make the seamless extra bold. Decrease the font a bit to make it fit. And now Iman has this feather thingy. I didn't really notice it, and now I don't really care to find it, so it is what it is. You can find the feather icon and change it if you want, but I'm kind of running late on my schedule, so I'll just finish this tutorial quick. Yeah. And now the opacity doesn't change for this thingy, so I'll quickly fix that by making opacity frames just like this and easing them. Text appears a bit too quickly. You can move the text kind of like this, selecting both of the keyframes so it doesn't mess anything up, and that looks really good. Just make it appear a bit sooner. So kind of like this. Yeah, that's amazing. So now go to both of these shape layers and make a size keyframe for both of them, and go a bit forward, select them both and make unlink the size and just increase it a lot. It's not increasing it for both of them, which kind of sucks, but we'll do it individually. So just like this, make them match. There we go. And now we can select them, select the keyframes, easy ease, go to the graph editor and just make a nice little graph like this. Make it start a bit sooner and make it a bit quicker. Perfect. Now let's go to the money, make a position and I believe it's the X rotation, press U to see them and just push the money kind of like this. Use these things to rotate it. Try to get it looking something like I have it here. Just push it back, push it like this, put it here. Also you want to make a scale keyframe for the money. So kind of scale here and make the other keyframe. So push the scale keyframe back here and make the scale a bit smaller. Perfect. Now just add a spin to it. So make this like -3. That's pretty nice. Easy as everything. Go to the graph editor and make a nice graph like this. That looks good. Awesome. And then for the stopwatch, make some keyframes as well. You can press U to see them all, position, orientation, rotation, all that good stuff. And go over here, push it to the left. Yeah, also make the scale keyframe, forgot to say that. So S, your keyboard, and make a bit smaller, like this. Put it right there and add a lap to the Y rotation. Perfect. Now easy is everything. Go to the graph editor, make a sharp graph like this, and make it start a bit later, so they start at the same time. And that's so smooth. Next up, we can take this make your workflow seamless thing and make a position, scale keyframe, so PNS, and go to the end of these keyframes. Just push it down, make the scale small so it fits the other one, so something like this. Put it right there, easy, select them, make a graph like this. Perfect. Now I'm gonna go in here, go in one of the pre-comps, copy everything one more time, paste it here, make a new pre-comp, and it's this one, and we'll go into it and make it say not add complexity, and make the complexity extra bold and kind of resize everything. We can make this font a bit bigger, kind of like this, and we'll make it here, increase the scale by hitting S. And yeah, make it appear right when this is moving. So around here you can drag it, here it starts to appear, and we'll drag it right there. Yeah, so drag it here so it starts appearing when the make your workflow seamless thing is pretty much halfway through moving. Oh yeah, and also change this clock thingy to a cross, so you can just press G here and make a beautiful line, and just the stroke, something like 1. And then you can duplicate the line. You can center the anchor point and press W to kind of rotate it like this. Move it to the center, select both of them, move it to the center, and that's perfect. And make sure they are parented to the black object. So like this. Yeah, it works. Perfect. Oh yeah, this opacity thing is again messed up, so I'll go over these opacity thingies are and make a opacity keyframe for both of these and go there and make them 0. You're gonna easy is this. And yeah, now we're almost done. What I'll do is I'll make a new null here. So right click and make a new null. Null parent all these pre-comps. So these ones, parent them to the null, and then right over here I'll make a position keyframe and a scale keyframe, and I'll kind of push this down and make them a bit smaller. So kind of like this, a bit more down. There we go. And I'll easy is these ones and make a graph like that. Start even earlier. Perfect. Now we can move this a bit more down. That's super smooth. Alright, now we have finished animating everything and we'll move on to the effects part of things. So let's get straight to it. So yeah, this needs to be red. So I'll just go to the pre-comp, make a new adjustment layer. I'll just add a tint effect and make these red. That's good enough for me. Now to make the 3D objects look better, so I'm gonna add a new light, and I'll just make it an environment light. So change this to environment, make sure cast shadows is on, and click OK. And now we can kind of change the light options, so the intensity, shadow darkness. We could just try to make it look good. We'll make it quite bright. Iman had it pretty bright. Now I'll get into why we got the HDRI file. So where is it? It's this one. And we can kind of drag it to the timeline, and we can make the source of the light the HDR file. And what this does is it adds to the realism and makes these look really good. So yeah, here we go. Now we have the same kind of bright money like Iman had, which is awesome. You can play around with these settings a bit, but this looks so good. This is exactly what he had. I had to turn this to half because my PC is about to explode, but yeah, I'd say this is really good. And now to make the 3D objects red, it's actually not that easy. Like let's say I want to add a tint effect. I can't. So what I'll try to do is I'll make a second light and I'll make a spotlight. I'll make the color red. So like this. So yeah, I have this second light here. If I just kind of push the point of interest, you can move these around and you can also use these ones. But if you just kind of push the point of interest toward the money, you can make it look red. It doesn't look good, but if we go to the first light and we'll keyframe the intensity. So open up the first, this environment light. And if you just kind of keyframe the intensity here, and right here we'll make it really dark, we do get that pretty nice effect. We can play around with the shadow darkness and all that good stuff. Make it kind of like this and kind of like this. Perfect. Now we can duplicate this spotlight and we can move it over to the stopwatch. So like this. And now we can just keyframe the light options and the intensity. We can kind of just keyframe this to be 0, so we're not getting red when we don't want red, and kind of do the same thing for the other light. So intensity, keyframe that to 0. Alright, now we have fake the red effect. Perfect. Now for these text boxes, I went ahead and added a few effects, not that one. So you can kind of copy this. I have this effect stack as a preset, so I didn't add this individually. So you can just kind of copy this, but turbulent displays and the VR chromatic aberrations and the glow, second glow, and the noise. So you can just kind of copy these if you want to get the same look. And then once you have this copied, you can just select all of them and make an animation preset. So you'll have this ready whenever you need it. So yeah, I'll just kind of paste these effects to all the pre-comps. Yeah, it's looking really good. I'll also put some effects to the stroke of the rectangle. So I believe this is the stroke. So I'll just add the same effects to it. Why not? Perfect. Maybe I'll take off the chromatic aberrations. Yeah, that looks good. Now what I'll do is I'll pre-compose everything. Control-Shift-C. Make a pre-comp. For this I'll add my animation effects stack. You can just copy the effects I add. I'll show them to you in just a sec. So yeah, these are the effects I added. So the optics compensation kind of makes the camera look like this, and turbulent displays, noise, 7% noise, and a post-rest time. So you can kind of copy these effects if you want to get a similar look. You can make a preset of this also. It's really useful. I use this for pretty much every animation, so go ahead and do that. Also add a vignette here and up the amount quite a bit. Alright, hey guys, this is me from the future. As you guys know, I forget a lot of things, and this time I forgot to add the film grain overlay. So you can just kind of drag it on top of the footage, and what you can do is you can make this mode, so the blending mode, you can make it screen. I think that works pretty well, and you get this nice little film grain overlay, which Iman uses quite a bit. But yeah, back to the video. But yeah, let's look at the final animation we got. And yeah, you can let me know what you liked about this tutorial, what you want to see next in the comments. And if you want to see more amazing tutorials like this one, learn some awesome editing, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And yeah, hope you enjoyed, and you can check out this video for more, and take care.